Hello coders, welcome to Coding Highway. So this is our third tutorial on our OOP with Python or Object Oriented Programming with Python series. So in this video, we will tackle about the basic syntax and features of the Python programming language. The topics include using the print function, Python identifiers, Python keywords, reserved words, lines and indentations, and also we will do some sample exercises. So if you are ready, let's dive in. The first topic will be the print function. So the print function in Python is a function that outputs to your terminal window whatever you say you want to print out. You can use single quotes or double quotation marks to enclose the words that we want to display in the terminal. So yung print function, para lang siyang cout sa C++ or system.out.println sa Java. So ginagamit siya para makapag-print or makapag-display tayo sa terminal ng gusto nating i-display. So for example, variable value, strings, or objects. So kung ano nang gusto mo i-display sa terminal, yung gagamitin mo is the print function. So let's try. So in order for us to try the print function, we must create a program in Python. So first, open your IDE. So in this case, our IDE, since we are on a computer, we will use the Visual Studio Code. So make sure you install the necessary extensions and installers before starting this program. So if you haven't, you can refer to the second tutorial or the previous tutorial on how to set up your device. So let's open Visual Studio Code. And so we are brought to the welcome screen. So just close it. So the first thing that you want to do before starting is you must go to settings. So the settings here is located here at the bottom left corner. So this one, the gear icon. Then click mo, tapos settings. So we will search for zoom. So type mo lang zoom. So this option, we want to check it. So bakit kailangan natin i-check? In order for us to zoom the content by using the mouse wheel and the control button. Kasi pag dito naka-check, para ma-zoom mo yung text mo or yung program mo, gagamit ka pa ng Control Plus, which is parang hassle. So para mas madali, gagamit ka lang ng mouse wheel mo. So i-check lang natin to. Check this one, then it's okay na. Close mo na lang. Close. Yan, so we are ready to start. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to create a file. So go to file, tapos new file. Then save mo yan. Save mo muna. Save. Tapos example, ang name is hello.to Python. Walang Python. Yan, Python. Then click the folder that you want to save your file. Example, gusto ko siyang i-save sa desktop, or pwede kang gumawa ng folder. So gawa tayo ng folder sa desktop. So click kong desktop, then click new folder. Name ng folder ko is Python. Enter. Click mo yung folder na ginawa mo, then click open. Then save. So ang mga Python files, yung extension niya is .py. So, click save. Yan. So, meron na kitang hello.py. So, remember lahat ng Python files will have the extension of .py. So, same other file types. For example, JPG. So, ang file extension niya is .jpg, .jpeg. For example, C++. Yung file extension niya is .cpp. So, pag Python, yung file extension niya is .py. Yan, let's start. So, let's try to zoom. So, makikita nyo, medyo maliit yung pag mag-type ako ng text, medyo maliit siya. Para mas malaki, gagamitin mo lang yung zoom. So, control, i-hold mo yung control key, tapos scroll mo lang. So, ang pag-zoom is scroll up, pag-zoom out, scroll down. Yan. Para mas makita nyo. So, let's start using the print function. So, print function is used to display anything you want on the terminal. So, yung syntax niya is print, open and closing parentheses, tapos, so for now, yung gagamitin nating display is strings muna or series of characters. So, pag strings ang gusto mo i-display, kailangan mo siya i-enclose in either single quotation or double quotation. So, let's try. So, for example, single quotation. So, single quotation, gusto ko i-display is hello world. Yan. Tapos, make sure if you're done with your code, kailangan mo siya i-save. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito sa my file name, meron siyang white dot o white circle. Pag yan, naka white circle, meaning your file is not yet saved. Hindi pa siya nasi-save. So, i-control S mo lang. Control, tapos S. Hold down control, tapos S para ma-save siya. So, pag i-control S ko yan, mawawala yung white circle na yan. Meaning, na-save na yung file. So, control S, yan. So, magiging X. Meaning, saved na yung file mo. So, na-save yung changes na ginawa mo sa file mo. So, for example, iibahin ko yung string ko. Lalagyan ko ng comma. So, di ba? Nakita nyo? Karoon ulit siya ng white circle. Meaning, yung file mo is hindi pa niya nasi-save yung mga changes na ginawa mo. So, before running, make sure nga your file is saved. For example, this one, kasi pag hindi yan nakasave, yung i-run niya is yung last save na instance mo sa file. So, hindi niya i-run to may comma na. So, para ma-run niya kasama yung comma, kailangan mo siya i-save. Control S para ma-save. So, paano natin siya i-display? Paano natin makikita yung output? So, how can we know? So, we can either click this icon, so run Python file in terminal, or right-click on your workspace, then run Python file in terminal. So, either of the two. Kung wala kang icon dito, i-right-click mo lang dito. Tapos, lalabas yung dialog box. I-click mo lang yung run Python file in terminal. Pag-click ko, lalabas yung terminal ng VS Code. Tapos, iraran niya yung itong code. So, kung napansin nyo, meron na tayong hello world. So, meaning successful yung ating program. So, i-minimize ko lang to. So, iibahin ko yung string. Hi universe. Make sure naka-save. Save ko. Control S. Or file save. Either Control S or file tapos save. Tapos run again. Run mo ulit. Run Python file in terminal. So, makikita nyo, ito na siya. Hi universe na yung output niya. So, you can use the print function multiple times. For example, we want to display high universe 3 times. So we just put 3 print high universe. Print high universe. Pwede mo i-copy na lang. Paste. Tapos make sure naka-save. Control S, then run. So you can see, nag-print siya ng tatlong high universe. So what if ang gagamitin natin is double quotation? So the result will be the same. So let's edit. So gagamitin ko is double quotation. But make sure that if you use double quotation, make sure the pair is also a double quote. Kailangan double quote din dito. Kailangan lagi silang pair. So kung ang gagamitin mo is single quotation, dapat dito is single quotation. Let's copy this one, save, run. So it generates the same output like when we are using single quotation. So that is the basic print function. So if you have spaces, yan. So yung output niya is magiging ganito. Kahit may space siya dito, yung output niya will be no spaces. Paano natin siya lalagyan ng space? So magpiprint ka lang ng blank na print function. Walang laman para magkaroon siya ng space. Diba? Meron siyang space dito before the fourth high universe. Or, pwede ka gumamit ng escape characters. So, para mag-new line siya, you can put here /n. Meaning, /n meaning maglalagay ka ng new line or one enter. So, pag nilagay ko yan, so same result. So, you can either use this one, /n, or the blank print statement. So, same results. Then, as you can see, in Python, we don't use semicolons. So the statement is always ended without using the semicolons. So makikita natin ang simplicity ng Python. So most of the errors that are experienced by programmers are mostly due to missing semicolons. So yun yung kinaganda ng Python programming language. Hindi mo na kailangan i-end lahat ng statement mo by using semicolons. So hindi na kailangan. So tatanggalin mo na lang siya. So we're done with the print function. So let's proceed to the Python identifiers. Hello, welcome back. So let's try to discuss about Python identifiers. So Python identifiers are names used to identify a variable, function, class. Identifier starts with the letter capital A to Z or small letter a to Z or an underscore, followed by 0 or more letters, underscores, and digits from 0 to 9. Python does not allow punctuation characters such as the ampersand, $sign, and the percent sign within the identifiers. So, bawal yung mga special character. The only allowed will be the letters, capital letters, small letters, underscores, zeros, and digits. So, bawal ang mga special characters. Then, Python is a case-sensitive programming language, meaning you have two variables with the same spelling but different structure. For example, manpower, capital M, and manpower, small letter m, they are two different identifiers. So, itong dalawang to, Magkaibang identifier yan. Kasi this one has capital M, this one small letter m. They are two. So case sensitive ang Python programming language. Next, let's talk about naming conventions. So there are certain rules or conventions that must be followed when naming identifiers. The first is class names start with an uppercase letter. All other identifiers start with a lowercase letter. So pag yung identifier mo is a class, dapat required siya mag-start with a uppercase letter. Example, ako ng class. So dapat yung inename mo sa class mo, automatic capital yung first letter. For example, class student. Yan. So hindi pwede na yung pangalan ng class mo small letter student. Hindi yan pwede. Kailangan capital. Yun yung first rule. Tapos, sabi dito, all other identifiers start with a lowercase letter. So kung hindi siya class, ordinary identifier lang, so you can start with small letter. For example, meron kang variable na student. So you can name it with small letters. Then, so magiging capital lang yung first letter niya pag yung identifier is a class name. Next, starting an identifier with a single leading underscore indicates that the identifier is private. So pag yung identifier mo may underscore sa unahan, meaning this is a private variable. So we will tackle about private variables when we are in the object-oriented programming part na ng lesson. So basta may underscore, valid siya na student variable. Underscore student, meaning this variable is a private variable. The next convention is starting an identifier with two leading underscores indicates a strongly private identifier. Double underscore at the end of the variable or the identifier. So let's look at some examples. So let us identify what are the valid identifiers here. So try to answer. So pause the video, then come back if you have the answers, and we will check. So welcome back. So let's try to answer this example. So if you look at the example, the valid identifiers are number 3 and number 4. So why? Because number 3 starts with a single underscore, meaning it is a private identifier. While number 4, it ends with double underscores, meaning it is a language-based identifier. How about 1, 2, and 5? Why is it that it is not a valid identifier? Number 1, in this case, since it is a class, it is declared as a class, dapat yung first letter niya is capitalized. So dito, small letter yung first letter niya. So wrong. Kailangan capital ang first letter ng class type na identifier. The second one, nag-start siya sa special characters. Special characters is not allowed in identifiers. Also with number 5, meron siyang mga special characters. So hindi siya allowed. So it is not a valid identifier. So I hope you understand all the concepts about the identifiers. So let's proceed to Python keywords or reserved words. So keywords are the reserved words in Python. So we cannot use a keyword as a variable name, function name, or any other identifier. So they are used to define syntax and structure of the Python language. So currently there are 33 keywords in Python. Ang mga Python keywords, they are reserved words, meaning you cannot use that keywords in creating a identifier since it is built in to the Python programming language. So parang ah kay Python programming language lang yung mga keywords na yan. So hindi mo siya pwede gamitin as a name to your identifier. So pag ginamit mo siyang name ng identifier mo, mag-e-error yung program or magkakaroon ng warning. So I will show you the different keywords in Python. Yan, so we have false, none, break, class, finally, lambda, from. So these words, we cannot use these words or these keywords as name of our identifier. So hindi mo to pwedeng gamitin. So try to be familiar with the different keywords or reserved words in Python para hindi ka magka-problema sa mga naming ng identifiers mo. So let's proceed. So let's talk about Python lines and indentations. So Python provides no braces to indicate blocks of code for class and function definitions or flow control. Blocks of code are denoted by line indentation, which is rigidly enforced. All statements within the block must be indented the same amount. So, the Python, we have no braces or curly braces to indicate separate blocks of code. So, the mechanism that is being used to indicate blocks of code is the amount of indentation. So, code belonging to the same indentation is on the same block. So, ganun yun sa Python. So, kung sa ibang language, na-identify mo yung block of code mo by the opening and closing curly braces. Sa Python, it is identified by the amount of indentions. So, let's try to look. So, for example, meron ako ditong if-else statement. So, do not worry lang muna sa if-else statement. So, we will tackle this one on our next tutorials. Example, if true, print true, false, print false. Yan. So, kung napapansin dito, pag enter ko kanina, automatic, nag-indent siya. So, meaning, this whole block belongs to the if block, while this one belongs to the else block. So, we have two blocks of code. This one and this one. So, kung mapansin nyo, nag-indent siya. So, what if meron kitang nested ifs? Pwede. If to, so mag-indent ulit siya. Kasi, i-group niya yung code niya using indentation. Print false. Meron kita ditong apat na blocks. So we have this block for the if and this block for the else. Then the nested ifs, we have one block for the nested if else and another block for the nested else. One block here, second block, third block, fourth block. Sa Python, yung pag-separate ng code niya, gumagamit siya ng indentation. The more indentions, meaning the more separated the code are. And all code belonging to the same indentation belongs to the same group or statement. So for example, this one, this if else belongs to the if-else statement or its own if-else statement. So, ganyan sa Python. Gumagamit siya ng indentation. So, sa ibang language, gumagamit ng curly brace para pag-separate, di ba? So, we don't need that one since Python is more focused on simplicity. So, that's the beauty of Python. So, let's go back to... So, we're done with Python lines and indentations. So, let's try to exercise our knowledge about the print function. So we were tasked to write a program that prints the word I learned printing characters in the terminal using Python. And the second one, write a program that prints the word Hi Universe 7 times. And so let's try. So we will use the same file. So the first is, sabi, write a program that prints the word I learned printing characters in the using Python. So since one sentence ang kailangan i-print, so we will use the print function. Print can either use single or double quotation. So I'll use single. And the word is learn learn printing characters the final ni Python. So para hindi siya mag-extend masyado, go to uh, view toggle word wrap. Yan. Para hindi mag-extend doon sa right side. I-wrap niya yung strings. So let's try to print. Right click and run Python file in terminal. Yan, so na-print na natin. I learned printing characters in terminal using Python. So let's try the second problem. Write a program that prints the word Hi Universe 7 times. So since we are tasked to print Hi Universe 7 times, we will use print function 7 times. Universe. We'll just copy. 5, 6. Then save. Make sure to save. Right click, then run. Yan. So we printed 7 Hi Universe on the terminal. We're done. I hope you understand well the printing of words, Python identifiers, Python keywords, Python indentation, so that we can proceed to the next tutorial. If you have confusions or questions, you can always go back to the beginning of the video or on the different parts of the video in order to master the different concepts. So see you in the next tutorial.